Nobody expected one emotional apology between Wu Lei and Zhao Lusi to completely emotionally destroy fans across the world. And before you scroll away, you need to stay until the very end, because what reportedly happened during their heartbreaking reunion involved regret, emotional breakdowns, hidden pain, shocking confessions, tears nobody expected, and one devastating promise that reportedly changed everything forever between them. So subscribe right now because this story unfolds with emotional vulnerability, painful honesty, hidden love, second chances, and scenes so mind-blowing fans are still emotionally shaking afterward. For months, fans everywhere emotionally watched the painful distance publicly growing privately between Wu Lei and Zhao Lusi afterward. At first, many people reportedly believed the emotional tension publicly surrounding them would eventually disappear privately afterward. Because according to insiders, both stars allegedly still cared emotionally about each other publicly despite constant misunderstandings privately afterward. But according to sources, every emotional argument publicly between them reportedly slowly created deeper distance privately afterward. Missed calls emotionally afterward. Cold conversations publicly afterward. Emotional silence privately afterward. And according to insiders, both stars allegedly started emotionally pretending publicly everything remained fine privately afterward, while secretly emotionally suffering afterward more than anyone publicly realized afterward. Then came the incident that reportedly emotionally changed everything forever publicly afterward. According to insiders, Zhao Lusi allegedly attended a private late-night gathering emotionally following a major filming schedule publicly afterward. Witnesses later described the atmosphere emotionally calm privately at first afterward. Soft piano music publicly echoing through the luxury rooftop restaurant afterward. Rain reportedly falling softly emotionally outside publicly afterward. City lights privately glowing endlessly afterward. According to insiders, Zhao Lusi allegedly appeared emotionally distant privately throughout most of the evening afterward. Meanwhile, witnesses later claimed Wu Lei reportedly arrived emotionally much later publicly than expected afterward. And according to sources, the emotional atmosphere reportedly shifted immediately publicly the moment Zhao Lusi privately saw him afterward. Because according to insiders, nobody publicly expected Wu Lei emotionally to attend privately after weeks afterward of emotional silence publicly between them afterward. Witnesses later claimed Zhao Lusi allegedly froze emotionally for several seconds publicly afterward while staring privately at Wu Lei afterward. Not anger emotionally. Not hatred publicly. Just emotional exhaustion privately afterward. Meanwhile, according to insiders, Wu Lei reportedly looked completely emotionally devastated publicly the moment he privately saw Zhao Lusi afterward. Because according to sources, he allegedly realized publicly how much emotional pain privately existed afterward between them publicly. At first, according to witnesses, neither star reportedly spoke emotionally afterward. The silence publicly between them privately reportedly became emotionally unbearable afterward. Because according to insiders, both reportedly carried publicly too many unresolved feelings privately afterward to even know emotionally where to begin publicly. Then, according to witnesses, Wu Lei allegedly quietly asked emotionally Zhao Lusi publicly if they could privately speak alone afterward. That moment reportedly instantly emotionally shocked nearby insiders publicly afterward. Because according to sources, Zhao Lusi allegedly almost refused emotionally afterward before quietly agreeing publicly moments later privately afterward. Witnesses later claimed both stars allegedly walked emotionally toward a private balcony publicly overlooking the glowing city skyline afterward. Rain reportedly falling softly emotionally around them publicly afterward, while cold wind privately moved quietly through the night afterward. At first, according to insiders, neither reportedly spoke emotionally at all afterward. Wu Lei allegedly standing silently publicly afterward. Zhao Lusi reportedly staring privately toward the city afterward while emotionally avoiding eye contact publicly afterward. Then came the heartbreaking moment fans reportedly cannot emotionally stop talking about publicly afterward. According to insiders, Wu Lei allegedly finally whispered emotionally, "Please forgive me." Witnesses later described Zhao Lusi reportedly immediately emotionally freezing publicly afterward, hearing those words privately afterward. Because according to sources, part of her allegedly waited emotionally for that apology publicly for far longer afterward than she publicly admitted privately afterward. Meanwhile, according to insiders, Wu Lei reportedly continued emotionally speaking publicly before fear privately stopped him afterward. Witnesses later claimed he allegedly admitted emotionally that every emotional mistake publicly between them privately afterward came from fear emotionally and immaturity publicly afterward. That confession reportedly visibly shook Zhao Lusi emotionally, according to witnesses nearby afterward. Because according to sources, hearing Wu Lei publicly finally take responsibility privately afterward reportedly became emotionally overwhelming publicly for her afterward. Then came another devastating confession emotionally nobody expected afterward. According to insiders, Wu Lei allegedly admitted publicly that losing Zhao Lusi privately emotionally terrified him afterward more than any career failure publicly ever could afterward. That sentence reportedly completely shattered the emotional distance publicly between them privately afterward. Witnesses later claimed Zhao Lusi allegedly quietly looked away emotionally afterward while trying publicly to stop tears privately from forming afterward. Because according to insiders, part of her allegedly still loved Wu Lei emotionally far more publicly than she privately wanted afterward to admit publicly. Then, according to witnesses, Wu Lei allegedly softly confessed emotionally that he spent countless nights publicly replaying every emotional argument privately between them afterward, wondering publicly how he emotionally became the reason privately for Zhao Lusi's sadness afterward. That confession reportedly emotionally devastated Zhao Lusi instantly, according to insiders nearby afterward. Because according to sources, she allegedly never expected publicly Wu Lei privately to understand emotionally how deeply their relationship publicly affected her afterward. At one point, witnesses claimed Zhao Lusi allegedly quietly asked emotionally why Wu Lei publicly waited privately so long afterward to finally apologize emotionally afterward. And according to insiders, his answer reportedly emotionally destroyed everyone nearby afterward. Because according to sources, Wu Lei allegedly admitted publicly he kept emotionally convincing himself privately that Zhao Lusi eventually afterward would stop loving him publicly anyway afterward. That confession reportedly completely emotionally shattered Zhao Lusi afterward, according to witnesses nearby afterward. Because according to insiders, hearing someone publicly admit privately they emotionally felt unworthy afterward of love publicly reportedly broke something inside her afterward. Meanwhile, rain reportedly slowly became heavier emotionally around them publicly afterward, while city lights privately reflected across the glass balcony afterward. Then came another heartbreaking emotional moment afterward. According to insiders, Zhao Lusi allegedly quietly admitted publicly that despite every emotional fight privately between them afterward, part of her reportedly never emotionally stopped waiting publicly for Wu Lei afterward to come back privately. That confession reportedly left Wu Lei completely emotionally speechless publicly afterward. Because according to sources, he allegedly believed publicly for months privately that Zhao Lusi emotionally moved on afterward from him completely publicly. At one point, witnesses later claimed Wu Lei allegedly slowly stepped emotionally closer publicly toward Zhao Lusi afterward before softly admitting privately that he no longer wanted emotionally to remain publicly the same person afterward, who kept hurting her privately emotionally again and again afterward. Then came the promise that reportedly changed everything forever emotionally afterward. According to insiders, Wu Lei allegedly quietly whispered publicly that he was ready emotionally to become a different person privately afterward for the sake publicly of their relationship afterward. That sentence reportedly emotionally broke Zhao Lusi instantly, according to witnesses nearby afterward. Because according to sources, hearing someone publicly finally fight privately for love afterward instead of emotionally running publicly from it afterward reportedly became overwhelming emotionally for her afterward. Then, according to insiders, Zhao Lusi allegedly quietly started crying emotionally afterward while trying publicly to hide her tears privately from Wu Lei afterward. Witnesses later described Wu Lei reportedly looking completely emotionally devastated publicly, seeing her privately break down afterward. Because according to sources, he allegedly realized publicly how much emotional damage privately existed afterward between them publicly, because of mistakes emotionally neither reportedly knew publicly how to fix privately before afterward. Then came another shocking emotional confession afterward. According to insiders, Wu Lei allegedly admitted publicly he almost gave up privately completely afterward because emotionally he believed Zhao Lusi publicly deserved someone better privately than him afterward. That confession reportedly visibly shocked Zhao Lusi emotionally, according to witnesses nearby afterward. Because according to sources, she allegedly spent months publicly believing privately Wu Lei emotionally stopped caring afterward about her completely publicly. But suddenly, according to insiders, she allegedly realized publicly he emotionally kept pushing privately her away afterward because of fear emotionally, not lack of love publicly afterward. Then, according to witnesses, Zhao Lusi allegedly quietly whispered emotionally that all she ever publicly wanted privately afterward was honesty emotionally from him publicly. Not perfection privately afterward. Not impossible promises emotionally afterward. Just honesty publicly. That confession reportedly emotionally shattered Wu Lei instantly, according to insiders nearby afterward. Because according to sources, he allegedly finally realized publicly the emotional mistakes privately destroying their relationship afterward came from silence emotionally, not lack of love publicly afterward. Meanwhile, according to witnesses, the rain reportedly slowly softened emotionally around them publicly afterward, while the city skyline privately glowed beautifully afterward beneath the night emotionally around them publicly. Then came the breathtaking moment fans reportedly cried over emotionally, once details leaked publicly online afterward. According to insiders, Wu Lei allegedly quietly reached emotionally for Zhao Lusi's hand publicly afterward before softly admitting privately that no matter how many emotional mistakes publicly happened afterward, he still emotionally wanted privately a future with her afterward. That confession reportedly completely emotionally broke Zhao Lusi, according to witnesses nearby afterward. Because according to sources, part of her allegedly feared publicly hearing those words privately for far too long afterward. Then, according to insiders, Zhao Lusi allegedly quietly admitted emotionally she never truly stopped publicly loving Wu Lei privately afterward despite everything emotionally that happened publicly between them afterward. That confession reportedly left Wu Lei emotionally unable publicly to speak privately for several seconds afterward. Witnesses later described the emotional atmosphere publicly becoming heartbreakingly beautiful privately afterward. Rain emotionally fading softly publicly afterward. Wind quietly moving privately through the balcony afterward. Two people publicly standing privately beside each other afterward, carrying years emotionally of pain publicly and love privately between them afterward. Then, according to insiders, Wu Lei allegedly softly whispered emotionally that this time publicly he wanted privately to fight for her emotionally instead of fighting against their relationship publicly afterward. That sentence reportedly emotionally devastated fans publicly across social media privately afterward, once fragments later leaked emotionally online afterward. Because suddenly, according to insiders, the emotional reunion publicly transformed privately from celebrity gossip afterward into something heartbreakingly real emotionally. Two people publicly finally confronting privately how deeply they emotionally still loved afterward each other publicly. And perhaps that became the most unforgettable part emotionally of this entire story forever afterward. Not the rain publicly. Not the tears privately. Not even the heartbreaking apology emotionally afterward. But the painful realization that sometimes people publicly hurt the ones they privately love most emotionally because they are terrified afterward of losing them forever publicly. And now the only question remaining emotionally is this. When someone publicly realizes privately they almost lost the person emotionally they truly love afterward and finally chooses publicly to change privately for that relationship afterward, should love emotionally give them another chance publicly, or should some emotional damage privately remain impossible afterward to repair forever? If this story touched your heart and you want more emotional celebrity drama stories like this, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who understands that sometimes the strongest emotional apologies publicly are not the loudest privately, but the ones spoken afterward by someone finally ready emotionally to change forever.